This is a very special day for me, for us. It's an honor and a privilege because the guest of today is His Holiness the 17th Karmapa Tinlet泰耶多傑, spiritual head of 800 or more monasteries and retreat centers all over the world for the Karma Kagyu school of Tibetan Buddhism. So I would like you to welcome His Holiness and thank you for this honor to speak with you.
Pleasure.
We are here in France right now. You see the beautiful temple in the back, one of the biggest retreat centers in Europe, am I right?
Yes.
And monasteries?
Yes, we have monasteries here, monasteries, retreat centers, and of course many ekatetes, or what is known as centers basically, here in France, but in general all over the Europe, actually around the world.
Yes.
We have many centers.
Okay.
Yes.
Now for the Western mind,
yes,
I know you also teach to the Western people,
right,
with their monkey mind. How would you explain what self-realization or enlightenment actually means?
I think we as human beings, no matter who we are, we always wish for some kind of freedom. Freedom from, could be from anything. Freedom from hunger, from war, from famine, from illness, from all kinds of difficult circumstances, you know. So enlightenment, maybe it's a little bit too far, but basically the trend of that idea is to seek for some sense of freedom, but we don't know what it is. It's an always within the human history. It has always been a challenge of finding the absolute freedom.
Yes.
It's been a long quest, but we don't know exactly what it is. So now, 2,500 years ago, then a prince named Siddhartha then took this journey to find this freedom.
Yes.
So I think in his search he first tried, like everybody, tried to find this freedom on the basis of running away from the outer conditions, you know.
The obstacles.
Yeah, the outer conditions.
Yes.
And then he could see that there's simply no way of, you know, running away from them. So instead, how do I say it? I mean, like, basically he found his freedom by not by focusing on the outer projections, outer conditions, but inside, towards one's, whatever we call it, mind or consciousness. By focusing on that, on its qualities, on its innate qualities, not the what it looks like qualities, you know, on the surface, but going beyond that, and then focusing on some innate qualities that you're born with, such as compassion, loving kindness. So by focusing on that, he actually found actual freedom. So I think that's been translated as enlightenment.
But is it the pursuit of happiness, or is it far more than that? Because I have a feeling that happiness comes when you are in that state, in that Buddhahood.
The pursuit of happiness is a general term, but in most cases is misunderstood.
Yes.
Because when we talk about happiness, it's relating to, mostly it is related to the idea of sensations, feelings. And from a Buddhist point of view, feelings, sensations, these kind of objective and subjective, you know, interactions, these and then the experience that you get, what is known as feelings and sensations, the result, yes. These are from a Buddhist perspective, it is impermanent, meaning it's changing. Not that it doesn't exist, but it's always changing. It has a changing nature. So therefore, Buddhist path wouldn't be exactly a pursuit of happiness in that sense.
Yes.
So, but at the same time, one could say it's a pursuit of happiness, by pointing out that the happiness is not the sensation happiness or feeling happiness, but clarity of the mind.
Yes.
You know, a compassion that is beyond feeling, a wisdom that is beyond feeling or sensation. So, in that case, it is definitely a pursuit of happiness.
But if you say beyond all those examples, it feels to me a little bit like Dzogchen. But I know, of course, you are a great tantric master, so maybe it's good for the Western mind to explain those concepts. We don't have a whole year, but what are the major differences between Tantra, Sutra, and Dzogchen?
Yes. Yes, true. I think in a few minutes or hours, I think it will be quite difficult to explain. But nevertheless, the thing that we really need to focus on is the very basic Buddhist topics that has been taught by Buddha in the first place, like the 5 skandhas. 5 skandhas are, I think, translated as the 5 piles or the 5 heaps. Pungpo means sort of one thing, sort of basically, for example, form. It is a result of piling various types of forms, and suddenly you have a form.
Yes.
So like that, in Sanskrit, I think it is known as skandhas. So in everyday life, we always perceive all kinds of forms. But what you call it? Mental forms and physical forms. And I think just within that, there are so many different types of forms that we perceive.
Yes.
And as we interact with them, then we gain sensation, some sort of a feeling.
Yes.
And then most of us, we somehow carry our life forwards. We judge things good and bad depending on how we feel.
Yes.
Yes.
Dualism.
Yeah, dualism, basically. So in this case, I think the enlightenment or the enlightened path is about basically trying to find a way to overcome it, but not by negating it, letting them be as it is.
Not grasping.
Yes. If there's a condition for the feelings to rise, it will rise.
Yes.
But there's not much you can do. So instead, observe and let it be. And by doing that, then one gains peace, one gains clarity. And if one can maintain this process for, undisturbed for a long time, then there is a way to reach enlightenment someday.
You mentioned the word peace as well.